We live. Papa Podcast.
Pop on them.
We on it.
What up?
What up?
Episode, I believe this is should be 86. So what's up?
What it do?
We still live, right?
Yeah. We good. What's this? You said episode
Almost at that
86?
100 mark though, boy.
Yeah, we almost at the 100 mark, man.
Yeah, almost at 100, man. Definitely 86. We're gonna try. You know, we've been pretty good so far. We're gonna try to keep the episode kind of short. So it's gonna jump into it. First thing we're gonna talk about. But before we start, as usual, shout out to everybody that that's in there. That's gonna
Facts. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Facts. Shout out to the early birds in the comment section.
Facts. All right, cool. So first we're gonna talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. All right, so this happened. I think it's been a long time. As far as how news is going these days, it's been a long time since this happened. In my opinion, it's been like a week, right? I think at least a week or maybe less.
Yeah,
week, right?
It's been about a week. Although more news has been coming out afterwards. I guess a couple things has happened after the situation.
All right, so I mean, we don't got to really go into the whole thing because I'm sure for the most part everybody has heard something about this. But obviously, Tekashi was in Florida. Maybe that some people didn't know, but he was in Florida at a gym. He was trying to work out, and apparently he got assaulted by a couple of young men, like three gentlemen. So first we're gonna start with Don. I'm gonna ask you what happened. What you said?
Oh no, it was 3. I'm sorry. No, you good. Carry on.
It was 3. Oh, okay. Yeah. So first off, a lot of people were saying this might have even been staged. Did you feel like that up until a certain point, or you knew that no, this is definitely
up until I actually got some form of insight, like real deal insight on it. I thought like in some way there was some kind of stage to it, but then I actually was watching. I'm like, yeah, this don't look like no stage stuff. It kind of looked like some real deal stuff. And then actually got some real insight on it, being that I'm right down the street from where it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was real deal from the jump.
Do you think this was well deserved? Do you think it was a long time coming?
It was a long time coming in a way, like, and it's funny because 6ix9ine actually said it himself in a post. Like, he's like, yo, I'm not sad this happened or surprised this happened. In a way, he said that. I forgot, not verbatim, but I don't remember what he said. But I'm not surprised it happened. Do I think it was smart for them to go do that? Hell no, that was dumb. I think it was dumb as hell because, you know what I'm saying, they're all the way in Florida. All his stuff happened in New York. But
right.
Yeah. So right. I'm not surprised it happened because people gonna do stuff like that, especially somebody like 6ix9ine who did everything that he did in the past.
Word.
Facts. So what about you, Clay? What do you think? You think this was well deserved? And also, do you think this is gonna help his I guess stardom or his reputation for the future or no?
I mean, as far as if it was well deserved, he had it coming. Do I think he deserved to get jumped by some random dudes that he probably didn't even know from a hole in the wall? Probably not. But as far as, being the type of person Tekashi is, we all knew he was finna get some smoke, caught up to him, eventually. So in that regard, I feel like that was just karma doing its thing. And as far as if it's going to have an impact on him, I mean, nobody was really rocking with Tekashi for real. As it is really only like the young crowd, which is, in my opinion, why I feel like he was able to stay relevant. But, everybody kind of wants to follow like a street code now. So him getting jumped, in public and, kind of like not really fighting back and not really doing much about it, kind of just letting it happen and just leaving, regardless of how many people it was. Because, how some people would say, they don't care if 10 people at them, they're going to try to take one person down. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even have that mentality. So I honestly think it's going to hurt him a little bit more. But nobody was really paying attention to Tekashi anyway, for real.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I guess like you said, I feel like it's been a long time coming. I don't know if anyone technically deserves to get like jumped and ganged up on, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you talk a lot, I'm kind of more surprised at where it happened, not that it happened, but it just kind of goes to show you, but I'm not gonna dwell on that for too long. So let's move on. Let's talk about the Yo Gotti situation. So Yo Gotti's a restaurant actually not owned by Yo Gotti, but I guess owned by his mother, who I'm pretty sure he probably helped her, get the finances for it. It was shot up. I'm not sure. Maybe Don could look up real quick if there's been any updates, because it was kind of a slow day for that when I was looking at it.
I actually had some details here. Apparently, they said that a fight, I guess, took place inside of the restaurant, which then led to the shooting.
Okay, so it was a situation like between patrons of the restaurant. A lot of people, of course, was assuming that it was retaliation for the Young Dolph situation. So I guess it's at least better to hear that it wasn't straight up that.
Yeah, and then
I don't know. Did anyone die, or it was just did anyone die? One died, right?
Two died, and it wasn't inside of the establishment. It all happened in the parking lot. Because I have the article here.
Yeah.
So all happened in the parking lot, and it ended in a shootout. And unfortunately, 2 people did die, and 5 people got injured.
Jeez.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard much else about that. And I went to the Instagram of the restaurant, and I looked at some of the profiles of the people that work there. And they, of course, aren't really saying anything either. So I'd assume it doesn't seem like it's anything that has really anything to do with the whole Young Dolph situation.
Oh, yeah,
so definitely not.
Yeah, I feel like that's something people just gassing up. So
that's what they're going.
Still terrible.
I figured that's what they would do.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying, like, I seen people gassing it up. I already had a feeling off rip that it had nothing to do with Young Dolph, because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what the internet does. They just gas it up. As soon as it happened, I seen people people putting Young Dolph there, but I don't even think Yo Gotti was even there. I don't even think his people was even there. You know what I'm saying? Like his family.
Yeah, I know he wasn't there, and his people would have nothing to do with it. But, like, obviously a lot of people were making it seem that it was kind of like a drive-by. They just drove by and shot up the location because they knew. But as the day kind of went on and more details came out, I realized that wasn't really the case. It seemed like it was just a disagreement between patrons of the restaurant that went south, obviously. So we're going to keep up with that, see if anything happens. But it's not really – I'm not going to open a whole rap violence discussion, because there's no proof this is actually related to rap violence.
That's true. We discussed that plenty of times.
Plenty of times. That's like a every other week thing. So next, let's move on.
Itself didn't get shot up.
Facts, true, right? So let's move on. Let's talk about Elon Musk and the whole. Let's talk about the AI situation with Elon Musk. So Don, you could kind of lead us on this conversation, because I kind of heard you talking more about it. So what exactly is going on with that?
Yeah. So another conversation that we've had heavy lately about is the AI technology, and how powerful the AI technology is and the things that it can do. I think last week or a few days ago, Elon Musk and a few other people who put the AI technology together, some of even the creators of the AI technology, are calling for a 6-month break on research on the technology and building it, because they're actually starting to become afraid of what the AI technology can do, like competing against the human mind way. You know what I mean? So
Let me ask you real quick. So what do you think? What do you think you think AI is getting a little bit too out of control, or do you think that as a people as whole, we're kind of letting the movies and the books and stuff get to our head, because everyone's thinking this is starting to look like iRobot. You know what I'm saying?
So
how do you feel about that?
I feel like it could get out of control. We can make it get out of control now, not in an iRobot type of way, but in a different way. Because first of all, the AI could really be used for bad. Like, if you go on the internet, I've been on Facebook and I've seen AI alternated pictures of LeBron James doing weird stuff. I think it was simple. It was like LeBron James in like a pink dress, doing something odd or whatever it was, and that was an AI generated picture. You know what I mean? You can literally just type in LeBron James, boom, 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 and it can create a picture of LeBron James in whatever you're asking it to. You know what I mean? And that's AI generated, not something that somebody's photoshopping. You know what I'm saying? So people are gonna find ways to use this technology for stupidity and do evil things, mockery, playing as other people because, the AI technology could do things like change your voice to a well-known person's voice. That's another thing that it can do. You know what I mean? So there's things and just other things. You know what I'm saying? So they're afraid of that and just things that the AI technology can do itself when it comes to algorithms and things like that. You know what I mean? So they want to get control over it before it starts to get control over the people in a way.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some. I mean, some of those pictures are really hard, especially if you don't have really a trained eye or you're not really familiar with artificially generated images. Some of those photos are kind of hard to tell. Like, what do you think, Clay? You've seen a lot of these images. Have you ever seen any that you was like, damn, that's kind of real?
I mean, the one that everybody probably can relate to is the ones of the ones that look like Trump trying to get away from being arrested.
that was hilarious.
Yeah, those ones were funny.
So legit. Like, you can tell they were fake. Again, like, if you have a trained eye, you obviously know better. You're like, okay, this isn't real, but it looks pretty damn legitimate. And it is scary to know that you can just type something in and it can generate an image for you. Like, that is very, very creepy.
And I want to say something about the trained eye, because we have a trained eye because, like, we're kind of into this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're a part of I guess you want to say the social media world. We have a podcast. We know these things. We've been
on the computer and the internet for like well over 15, 20 years.
When I tell you 90%, 95% of the people who jump on the internet just to consume some stuff, they believe everything on that thing is real, bro. Like, it's insane.
I know.
It's insane, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They jump on the internet.
And can me ask you this? I'm gonna ask both of y'all this. Can you blame those people, like anyone who really is inexperienced with the internet, or someone who, like you said, they're just on the internet every day just to consume? They just want to be entertained. Do you blame them for not knowing when things are fake?
Yeah, you really can't blame them, but because of what you know, it's more like, damn, bro, you really believe this?
It's like why don't you know?
Yeah, like, come on, man. I have to explain this to you. And then what's crazy is if you're trying to explain it to them, they'll, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna understand. They're gonna be like, "What are you talking about, bro? This is real." Like, you feel me?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Clay, have you ever had that situation?
On Facebook.
Sometimes we even like little kids too,
like
they try to tell them like, "No, that's not real," and they don't want to believe. Like, have you ever had that, Clay?
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, I'll always have kids coming up to me about certain things, and I'm just like, man, stop believing everything you see on TikTok, man. Like, first of all, you shouldn't even be on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not just the kids; it's adults older than us who never really got a good grasp on the internet when it first came out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got relatives. Not gonna say no names, but we got relatives that believe everything they see on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like no matter how many times you tell them, like, yo, I'm telling you that's not real. You know what I'm saying? They'll still try to believe it, and it's it's just tough.
That's the crazy thing about the internet is like how the emergence is like so crazy these days. It's kind of just like, like the progress of the technology of like those rides at theme parks. The internet's kind of the same thing. A lot of times it's hard to know what's real or what's not real. You know what I mean? Like, I done seen people on Reddit telling stories. They're so detailed and well written, you don't know if they're real or not.
Exactly.
I've seen Photoshop photos. Some people can't tell. I don't know.
And I was gonna say that's the thing with the AI technology. So it'll push these unreal things so hard, all because of the attention that it gathers. You know what I'm saying? And that's the AI working itself, and it's not humans working it no more. Now the AI is working it. You know what I'm saying? So now the AI is going off what's like not true, but people believe it, and it's pushing that narrative, and it's just a whole bunch of craziness that the AI can do. So I can understand why they're like, yo, hold on, let's put a halt to this real quick and like kind of get more control. Now the issue that I have with putting a halt to it is that if we put a halt to it, guess who's not gonna put a halt to it? China.
China, right? Yeah.
So we got it's a race to the moon, baby. We gotta keep it moving and master this technology first.
Yeah, I feel like the only real thing they could maybe do is if they created some sort of technology to go along with it that automatically identifies when a image or something is AI or when it's Photoshop. You know what I mean? Something that people cannot be disputed, even if it's attached to the file itself.
Yeah.
something so that people know, because like you said, it is getting out of control. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about I want to talk about Instagram. So Instagram verification is, I don't even think I completely fully understand this, but it seems like a lot more people are getting a check now. So Clay, I'm gonna ask you first, like, explain to us exactly what's going on with that. What's changed with Instagram and that blue check?
All right, so Instagram now is allowing people to get these verified blue checks for a total of about $14.99 before tax per month. And with having the blue check, not only does it verify that you are the person you say you are, and this is the official profile for who you are, they vow to also protect your profile from being copied or like scammed with any other Instagram profiles with people trying to pretend to be you. They, say that they're going to offer direct support. So if you're having an issue with your promotion or anything with your Instagram page, you can contact a live person directly, not email. You can contact someone directly and get help right away. And also, obviously having a verified check, because everything in your brand and in your entity and obviously to your name is linked, they'll push you through the algorithm, more easily, because they'll know, like, you're not just pushing, some BS. You're obviously pushing content that you value because you're paying this $14.99 a month. So that's pretty much what comes with that verified check. It's not just the simple fact of having it like a lot of people think.
Okay, cool. And Don, tell us, Don, tell us how people are responding to this. It seems like some people are cool with this, like Clay was kind of just leaning to at the end. Seems like some people are even misinformed a bit about how this process is or what's going on. But tell us how people are reacting to it.
So I think more like, people, I think it's more just the ignorant route. People are like making jokes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who may have the blue check like before, or may not have the blue check. They're kind of speaking down on it in a way. But I mean, this is something that's already been like done on Twitter. I don't think a lot of people know that. Like, this is, I think we spoke about this, is, what I'm saying, this, Twitter actually started this. And right. Twitter started it, and obviously Instagram seen that it worked on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a process that works. Now, obviously, I mean, nobody wants to kick up no bread every month. Like, not a lot of people want to kick up bread every month. But if you see it fit, if you see that it works for your brand, there's some people who actually, want to profit off of their Instagram or their Twitter or whatever. And if this is a way that they believe that they can use the profit, I mean, everybody's going to look at you more, not necessarily verified as in like a celebrity verified, but as in, okay, this person, you know what I'm saying, they're legit. They have the blue check, they're verified through Instagram, and boom, 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 I can work with them with this or that, you know what I mean? So I think that's more of the route where Instagram's going. I've been telling people that anonymity, I'm probably saying that word wrong, but people being anonymous on the internet is most likely going to go away. It's going to be harder to be anonymous on platforms like these, Instagram, Twitter, eventually like TikTok, if TikTok is still around, or whatever other platforms they are, Facebook. Anybody that's trying to do anything serious with their platform, social media, will eventually have to be verified. You know what I mean?
Right. If you're posting your pictures of you and your family every other week and you got 200 followers, you should not be paying for a blue check.
Yeah. And I mean,
and that right there is the problem.
Yeah. So I mean, like if like somebody like that, and we could say they should not.
And
but
so let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because one of the things that I thought that I may have seen, or maybe I saw it wrong, is that some people felt like that the blue check should still be kind of earned as opposed to even being able to be paid for. Is that correct or no? That wasn't.
You said it should be earned.
Be the narrative, yeah.
The funny thing is that
a lot of people feel like, like only real celebrities that got however much 1,000 followers should be the ones to hold a blue K.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people say that, but funny thing is that you're not going to be able to quote unquote earn a blue check anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's over with. Like,
yeah, that's the point. Yeah, but they're saying
they want it to be they want that status still. They want, you know what I'm saying, like when you get that blue check,
right.
I'm above you because I have a blue check. That's pretty much kind of gonna go away. You're gonna create on it.
That money.
Yeah, you're gonna create on your platform. If people gravitate to your platform, they're gonna gravitate. They're gonna like you. They're gonna enjoy your content, whatever it is, and move on. You know what I'm saying? It's not really gonna be boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? On Twitter, I think they only differentiate. Saying words wrong all day, my bad. But they only
no, you said it right.
Yeah. They only different those like gold and blue. Gold, I think, are like businesses, and I'm pretty sure Instagram is gonna follow the same thing.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
Yeah, if it's like like a notable business and they have a check mark, it's gonna be gold because it's a business. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But when it's just a influencer or a notable person, yeah, they're just gonna. We all just like if you want to invest in your brand or invest in your page or whatever it is, you can just have a blue check mark.
Got you. All right, so I guess we'll keep up with that, and we'll see what else happens with the debate on the blue check, and see what else people are saying. Well, I'm sure we'll end up talking about it again, but for now, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk next about this topic. Actually, maybe one of you guys could look up real quick again, because this is kind of also a developing story to happen today. The WWE and the UFC are going to be merging, I guess, into I don't know how they're going to do this, into one brand or one company. So obviously that's Dana White and Vince McMahon, which is like that's got to be the craziest mashup. So Clay, obviously I'm gonna let you tell us a little bit more about it, but I did want to say before, what I'm curious about is obviously if this is just them branding together and going to be doing promo stuff together, I get that. But the UFC is obviously not scripted and very, very real, and the WWE is obviously the opposite of that. So I'm just curious as to if they were to do some sort of merging, I guess, of the rosters, would the WWE stars now have to do real stuff? or like, I don't know. But Clay, go ahead. You tell us exactly what you've seen so far.
Yeah, man. They don't have much information out. They said that there was supposed to be more information announced either today or tomorrow. But as everyone knows, WWE has paired with the umbrella company of the UFC, which is Endeavor. So, the parent company of the UFC. So WWE and Endeavor are actually like the proper merge, which obviously puts UFC under WWE. And it says here that I guess they're gonna create a new name, because obviously it can't just be WWE Endeavor. So it seems here that they're gonna announce a new company name. But yeah, this all comes to a surprise, as to, it's funny because WrestleMania just happened, like they just had their 2 nights of WrestleMania this past Saturday and Sunday yesterday, obviously. So very, very surprising to an extent. I feel like the timing is more surprising, but it's not a surprise because Vince McMahon has been openly trying to sell the WWE for a few months now. So it's not surprising in that aspect.
Cool. And then before I ask Don anything, let me ask you, do you think it's going to mean any major changes, or more than likely no, probably just like business decisions on the inside and stuff like that? That's for you, Clay. That was for you.
Oh, for me? I thought you were talking about my fault.
I said before.
Honestly, I honestly think it would probably be for just like business. Maybe there's like some marketing opportunities for one side to help the other, or vice versa, or maybe even for both. It is very interesting though. I mean, the only thing that really stands out about the whole thing is that now they value over 21 billion, which I mean is obviously a given. I mean, both companies do fairly well on their own as it is. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure what to really expect. I'm kind of just like, one of those people that's just going to patiently wait for the next move and see, what happens. But if WWE starts to go back to WWF vibes, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. What about you, Don? What you think? You think this is a good business move?
Yeah, I think it's dope. I mean, I don't really follow the WWE as much anymore as I used to, and I don't really follow the UFC, but I know what both are about. And if, you know what I'm saying, like somehow they were to do some crazy merge and do something innovative, which I'm pretty sure they're thinking of ways to innovate both WWE and UFC. And if somehow they can figure something out, that'll be freaking dope. Like, that is something that I'll probably get into, you know what I'm saying, and start really watching avidly. But yeah, this seems like a dope move, man. Vince McMahon and who is it? Uh, it's not
Dana White.
Dana White. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
looking
Dana White.
at it. Yeah, so two prominent CEOs of, you know what I'm saying, like that we've been watching for, are knowing and watching for a long time. That's gonna be dope. So I like the move.
Yeah, for sure. Same. I think it's a good move. I'm sure. I don't think there's going to be any major changes as far as like I was talking about earlier. But I do think obviously they're going to make good business moves on the inside and help each other with promo and bringing in, those vibes. So we'll keep up with that. We'll see what happens. But moving on, let's talk about Florida. Florida, the governor has signed a crazy bill. Well, in my opinion, a crazy bill. I'm sure a lot of people will be torn on their opinions on this, but they're saying now in Florida, you do not need any sort of gun license to walk around with a concealed weapon, as long as you're at the year of legal age. And I assume, hopefully, that as long as you don't have a severe criminal background or criminal history, you can just walk around with a gun. Which,
we in the wild, wild south.
Wild, wild south, man. And so let me ask Don first. Obviously, like last week, we talked about the whole shooting situation with the school shooting. I think there was even like some other shooting the other days, like yesterday or the day before, somewhere. But it wasn't nothing crazy like the North Carolina situation. But with all this shooting stuff going on, what do you think? Do you think this is a good move or a bad move as far as making progress in the gun situation?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not a progressive move when it comes to the gun situation for sure. Yeah, I don't know who would think like, oh, like a couple days after a mass shooting in a school, let's let everybody walk around with guns in Florida. Like, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. Who thought that was a great idea after the school shooting? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that was a great idea at all.
Well, Governor Desantis, he's known for making some interesting decisions. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know like where he's going with that decision. Maybe he's just trying to go the attention route, because I don't know if he is still running for president or not. Or if he's not.
Maybe
but
he is.
That could.
Let me ask you this.
Good.
Let me ask you this, and we'll ask Clay. Do you think that, like I said, a lot of problems that we've been having lately has been people even legally obtaining heavy firearms and going inside of public places and doing damage. So do you think that maybe there's a chance that with this law being passed now, maybe someone in the, so there might be a chance for a hero? Yeah, it wouldn't be me, but maybe somebody who's willing to be that hero, whether it be in your local supermarket or, with the kid in the classroom, maybe even your teacher. Now teachers could be strapped technically. They can have it in their desk. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember we said we can't afford to put 5 police officers or army people inside of each school. So
there's gonna be heroes. I believe that's correct. But there's also gonna be unintentional casualties because of these heroes. They're not gonna know how to shoot. They're gonna shoot other people by mistake. They, you know what I'm saying? They kids gonna start picking up guns and killing themselves. People are gonna be untrained with guns. So, I mean, there's just gonna be like, we know how Florida is, man. They call it Florida man for a reason. There's gonna be so many stupid cases now because of because of this law.
Yeah. You're gonna have this. It's gonna be kids on the school bus, man. But Clay, what do you think, man? What do you, especially as someone you don't live in the South, you're a New Yorker, so what do you think? Should people in Florida specifically, be allowed to just be 18 and walk around with it on the hip?
No, what? No, they should not. And honestly, like I honestly don't see the logic behind how it could even make one bit of sense to do that, especially after a school shooting. Like it doesn't make sense. And there's been multiple school shootings in Florida, not just within the last couple of years. You know what I mean? So it's very, very questionable. But I mean, strap up at your own risk, people. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. It seemed like it was definitely his response to that situation. Maybe he's just trying something out. Maybe, Governor Santos is like, let's see where this goes.
Like I said, only thing I can think is like the attentive route, kind of trying to build his fan base. Now he's probably trying to, build the fan base of the people who love guns. What's the name? I forgot. The NRA, National Rifles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something like that. Like trying to gain some popularity there. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, because it just doesn't make sense at a time like this to be dropping a law like that. It doesn't click to me.
It don't.
That's right, man. And we definitely want to remind everyone that, this is a podcast, so everyone is entitled to their opinion in any kind of way everyone might feel. You might live in Florida and feel differently than Dom feels, and he lives in Florida, so he pays his Florida tax dollars, so he has the right to feel like that's kind of a crazy law. You know what I mean? So, but I know one thing I know for sure: the gun stores in Florida are it's about to be lit, man. A lot of 18-year-olds about to.
Hey, I might got to be smart about it and invest in a gun store myself, man.
Might have to. Man. I mean,
some ammunition, boy.
For real.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's about to be lit. But we're gonna move on to our last topic, man. Our last topic, we're gonna talk about Donald Trump. We're gonna talk about him one more time. This is the big news, I guess, probably the biggest news of this week. Some people even said they brought this in. It was the Illuminati to get our minds off of the school shooting. You know what I mean? Because this definitely hit the front pages. But Donald Trump has finally been officially indicted on several charges. He's really So I'm trying to be modest. So he landed in New York City today, where these charges are obviously being brought up against him, and he is said to allegedly be turning himself in tomorrow. I guess that'll be news. We'll see how that goes tomorrow, and we'll talk about that next week.
Last supper at the Trump Towers.
Last supper at the Trump Towers, which I'm sure this won't be as difficult as a journey for most people that get Fed charges brought up on them, I'd assume. But it's still,
of course not.
It's still history. It's still definitely the first president and/or ex-president, depending on how you look at things, to get brought on these kind of charges, man. A full-blown indictment, federal charges. Now, before I get into y'all, you know what I mean, and see what you guys have to say about it, I do want to say that clearly if you do the crime, you got to do the time, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think the argument that a lot of people, especially followers of his, which I'm not a follower of his, I don't hate him by any means, but I'm not a follower. Their problem, I think, is that these charges are a little bit, no pun intended, but a little trumped up. If you know what I'm saying, these charges ain't really, the main charge here is that he took some bribes from an ex-porn star. We all know a president that was the president when we was young coming up, who did some things with a young lady, mm-hmm. and he faced his situation in court as well. So I guess until we see Trump's outcome, we can't really say he's being mistreated. But I do think this is something they might be trying to put in the way of him and tarnish his future campaign that he plans on having. But honestly, personally, I think it might do the opposite effect. I think this might rile up his followers and even people who are on the fence about him even more to go out and vote for him if he runs. So with that being said, Don, let me hear. What do you think, or what did you think when you first saw these charges that he was indicted?
So yeah. What's funny is I definitely laughed when I seen he was indicted, because it just sounds funny. That's number one. Like Trump getting like arrested, like even like when we talked about the picture, the AI generated picture, that was just it was funny. But so if we get down to a serious note, like you said, I'm not a Trump follower, nor I don't even hate Trump like that. Though some of the charges sounded like a little, like you said, trumped up. Like, you know what I mean? I think he's getting charged for hush money he paid to cover up affairs with 2 women, including like a porn star, Stormy Daniels.
He might be one of the few that got caught, but he's definitely not the only president who's done that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I don't see how that's a crazy big deal because, like, it's not like he sexually assaulted her.
Right.
Like this, they actually had. I think it was probably like a consensual thing. It's just he's lying and saying that it didn't happen, and she ain't saying it did happen, and he paid her money to shut her mouth. So I just don't understand that part of it. Like why is he getting arrested or why are these? I don't get the legalities of it pretty much. The other things is when it comes to elections, like him trying to overturn the election and the classified documents that were left at Mar-a-Lago. So with that being said, it sounds a little trumped up, but I could bring it back to when we was talking about 6ix9ine and say that this was definitely due for Trump because of how he exited the office, how he did a lot of these people in the public eye. I believe that they're going after him for this reason. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Does he deserve it? Does he not deserve it? I don't know. But like, am I surprised that they going after him like that? Like, hey, he's messing with the wrong people. I guess I don't know.
Right. Clay, what you think? What did you think when you saw this indictment?
Well, I mean, we've heard for a long time that it was coming, but I honestly didn't think that they would, like, I can't say I didn't think they would have a case, but I didn't think they would try to make it this big of a case. So my reaction was just like Don's. I kind of laughed about it, like, wow, that's crazy. But you know, really, I just want to see how this whole thing plays out. I do also feel just like you, Jay. I feel like it will kind of rally up his followers, especially if it starts to the second it starts to look in a way like, you know, like he might get away with it, and they're just out to get him in a sense. Oh, it's gonna be a rocket ship from there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out from here on out.
Yeah, man, we got to remember this man was also the first president to get a specific group of people to storm a known government building, like they was really going to take it over. And you know, there's no one else has done that. And I just feel like if he can stir people to do something like that, and mind you, they've been handing out punishments for these people, and they're not exactly harsh punishments. I mean, I know dope boys that have done more time than what these people are getting for that. But so if someone has the power to stir people up like that, I don't know. I don't feel like you trying to, you know, do like a witch trial on him or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's a good idea, especially if you're trying to distance him from the country and from running in politics again. I don't know.
Well,
I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, go ahead.
We also got to remember, we talking about, like, what is it, the Supreme Court? We talking about big known people. If they really want to, like, they gonna twist and turn whatever they got to do if they really want to lock them up. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they want them locked up, they can lock them up.
Yeah.
Right. And if you, I don't know if they've said, but if one of you could look up, is what's like the max as far as actual prison time? What's the max he could get for something like this? Because I am interested in what you guys think. Like, what do you think he would actually get if he was found guilty? You know,
I'm gonna find out right now.
I got the article right here.
I don't know. I don't see. Obviously, it would be a pleasant trip, but I just don't see Trump doing a lot of time in prison. You know.
Let's see what this says. Clay, if you get it faster than me, yeah,
whoever finds it first. You know?
Well, I mean, we know that they're trying to indict him with 30 different charges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was 30.
Let's see. Penalties, the charges.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really seeing as far as how much he looked like he could be facing.
I'm seeing the penalties for, well, it's just like broad information. Kind of the penalties for misdemeanors could range from fine to up to a year in jail, or penalties could be higher. Boom, boom, boom. So it's not really saying a specific time that he could be.
Yeah. I feel like he wouldn't get that much. Yeah, I feel like, especially with his kind of lawyers, by the time it's probably going to go from 30 charges to like 15 or 14 or something like that.
And it says the 30 counts are all related to business fraud, and his team has been raising money, and it says that they've raised $7 million to fight the case alone.
like $7 million. And that's what I'm talking about. You see, he got 7 in a matter of a couple of days. He got people to put up moves. 7 mil. Facts. Appreciate you. But yeah, bro, like in a matter of a couple of days, like he got his people to put up 7 mil. You know what I mean?
Listen, yo, if okay, so I believe Trump either way is gonna come out on top, and I'll tell you why, right? Because even if bro goes in and does a month, right? Like he guilty on whatever charges and does a month, when he comes out, his support is still gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still there's no, like, you can be a felon and run for president. I found that out the other day. Like, you can be a felon and run for president. You could have a long list of crime and still run for president. That's one thing that you can do. You think the qualifications is you only have to be over 35, a U.S. citizen for over a certain amount of time, and some other stuff. I forgot what it was. But you can run for president with things on your record. So he's still going to run for president. His fan base is probably going to go hard for him, like how Boosie's fan base went hard for him right when he got out of prison. So bro about to go crazy. He going to come out. He going to touch home and you know what I'm saying, go on his presidential run.
He going to touch some M's.
Yeah.
That
so
campaign.
I feel like that man has a cult following. I can't even deny this. From what year he became president? What year was that?
2016,
2017, whatever it was. And he's had a cult fan base since then. So that cult fan base obviously has some sort of pull.
Yeah.
This might have been the wrong move. But we definitely gonna see. That will be a developing story, I'm sure, for the rest of the week. And the next time we come over here, we'll talk about it again, man. But unless y'all got anything else, you got anything, Don, Clay? Anything I want to touch on?
Nah, I'm good, man. I just want to let the viewers know I am dropping a project, music, April 14th, Experience. A couple records, been meaning to drop these for a while, so put that together. So y'all check it out once it drops. But other than that, keep tuning into the podcast on a weekly basis, man.
Same here, man. I got an EP dropping this year. Announcement coming soon as far as the name and date, but definitely coming soon. And man, big shout out to my dog 2 Letter King. My man shut it down in the city over the weekend, and got a big feature coming out with Votto real soon. But then also we got a sold out show, me and my son, man, opening up for Dave East. So y'all look out for the behind the scenes footage on that. I'm gonna definitely have a vlog put together for the tube on that. So
Facts,
it's gonna be
got to.
Yes, sir.
Facts, bro. So like y'all, like they said, keep looking at the channel, keep looking at the Instagram. We're gonna keep uploading videos and just bringing more content. So like, comment, subscribe, all that.
Yes, sir.
And thanks everybody that was in the chat. Peace out.